Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Give me one moment. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Noor Maulana Shah Karim Hussaini Hazri Imam Tawfiq Taeed Himmat Wal Yari Maula. Ya Mushkil Kusha Mehraban Maula Madad Farma Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel wa ni'mal Maula wa ni'man Naṣīr. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel wa ni'mal Maula wa ni'man Naṣīr. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel wa ni'mal Maula wa ni'man Naṣīr. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel wa ni'mal Maula wa ni'man Naṣīr. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel wa ni'mal Maula wa ni'man Naṣīr. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel wa ni'mal Maula wa ni'man Naṣīr. Hasbunallah wa ni'mal wakeel wa ni'mal Maula wa ni'man Naṣīr. Shukran lillahi walhamdulillah. Shukran lillahi walhamdulillah. Once again, Ya Ali Madad to all friends.
Ali Madad.
Ali Madad. And we have gathered here for our session on the book Jama'at Khanah. So let me share my slides with you. All right. So we are studying this book, Jama'at Khanah, and so beautifully we heard in the Zikr session that how Narmeen Sahiba beautifully recited Ayah Nur and then Ayatul Kursi, and let's have Dua Nur right now, inshallah. It is all due to mercy of studying this book together as group of like-minded friends who are interested in this journey of learning. Not only that we discuss the words, I knew, but we have learned how to recite it. Same is for the Dua Nur, which we are discussing, which is mentioned in this book. So let us start with the Dua. First, let's recite it in your heart, and I'll recite it loudly. Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Allahumma ja'alli nuran fi qalbi wa nuran fi sama'i wa nuran fi basari wa nuran fi lisani wa nuran fi sha'ri wa nuran fi bashari wa nuran fi lahmi wa nuran fi dami wa nuran fi izami wa nuran fi asabi wa nuran bayna yadaya wa nuran min khalfi wa nuran an yamini wa nuran an yasari wa nuran min fawqi wa nuran min tahti. O Allah, make for me a light in my heart, and a light in my ear, and a light in my eye, and a light in my tongue, and a light in my hair, and a light in my skin, and a light in my flesh, and a light in my blood, and a light in my bones, and a light in my nerve, and a light in front of me, and a light behind me, and a light on my right side, and a light on my left side, and a light above me, and a light below me. Ameen. So we are praying to Mawla with this Dua Nur, which is taught to us by Imam Jafar Sadiq, who told us that Prophet Muhammad every morning after morning namaz, he would say this dua. Similarly, following on the footsteps of our Prophet and Imam, we say this dua in the morning after all our dua and tasbihat. We say this in the morning, praying to Imam to give us light from our 16 directions. So Alhamdulillah, we had covered in last two classes discussion on light for our heart. What does that mean? And light for our ears. Inshallah, today we will do quite a few with Maula's hukum. So let us start with light for our eyes. وَنُورًا فِي بَصَرِي. There is another which is bashari. This is basari. This is to do with our eyes. Bisarat, basirat. So basari, right? What is the importance of eyes? Why do we need light for our eyes? I don't think that we need to know that. So we are revising and understanding, and some who have not attended these sessions in the past, maybe for them it could be new knowledge. So let us review first the Ginan. Beautiful Ginan. Our peers have actually given us a lot of knowledge in our Ginans. Satgur kahe jisma hai noor pragatya, teni aankhu hoye hajar anant, tene lakh अंधेरा आवे वसे तोय न मिले संत नु थार. The true guide says, in whose being light has manifested, this person will have 1,000 eyes, meaning the vision is limitless, it's unlimited. 100,000 dark and unenlightened will come and stay with him or her. Even then, he will not abandon the coolness and the peace that is derived from the practice of truth. So too many words, but we understand when we read this verse, it is clear that Pir is saying that if you have received this light, through this noor, you have received the light in your eyes, because we are talking about noor for our eyes. So Pir is actually talking about the Noor Pragatya, right? When the Noor has manifested, the light has manifested, meaning there is light in our being and light in our eyes. Due to that light, the vision, which we may say 20 by 20, right? In physical world, 20 by 20 vision. But this vision is like 1,000 by 1,000. This vision is limitless. This vision is such which can see beyond physical body, beyond physical worldly things, meaning these eyes now who have light can see the Batni world, can see beyond the physical world. So Pir says that even if the darkness, even if the shaitan tries to, whisper, give waswasa in the heart of that moment, even if the shaitan comes 1,000 times, Shaitan will not be able to take away the peace, the coolness which is in the heart of the moment. That moment has derived this light, this peace, this coolness by practicing the faith, right? When we follow our tariqah the way we ought to follow, when we fulfill all the conditions, definitely this light is so powerful that nobody can steal it. But the condition is that we have to reach to be able to see the Batni world. When we reach there, then nobody can steal it. Meaning, in other words, what we are saying, that the first level is ilmul yaqeen, meaning the certainty of knowledge. But knowledge is still in the physical world outside. The next step after the knowledge is ainul yaqeen, seeing the truth with the eyes. That's what Pir is talking about here. When a Mu'min as-Sadiq has seen the truth with the eyes in their batin, right? Then nobody can deceive them because they have reached at the higher level. They've seen the Batni world. So this is a beautiful Quranic verse, chapter 13, verse 16. It says, Kul hal yastavi amma wal basir. This word basir is from basarat, right? Basir. Am hal tastavi zulumatu wal nur. Say, are the blind and the seeing equal to one another? Or the darkness equal to light? Khuda Ta'ala beautifully is asking this question in Quran, that those who are blind and those who are seeing, can they be ever same? Now the question is that in physical world, we don't see people blind. So why would God talk like that? Of course, the Tawili meaning is that this seeing is the seeing of the Batni world, seeing of the knowledge world. First is at ilmul yaqeen level, having the knowledge. Those who are able to understand the realities and recognition at the level of knowledge, can they be same like a person who does not have knowledge? The one who does not have knowledge, his example is like a blind, right? When someone is blind, seeing and blind cannot be the same. Remember, we had studied that Gnanic verse, right? Ke sapat lochan dharamna, vidya lochan, unlimited. Again, same teachings in different Gnanic words. That when we have knowledge, the vision becomes unlimited, right? The eyesight becomes powerful. Not this eyesight, but the eyesight which is Batni, right? So Batni eyes. Remember, we are talking about the light for our eyes. Those who work hard, those who walk on the path of seeking knowledge, they invest their time in reading, learning, reflecting, and then doing zikr ibadat, watching their deeds. They cannot be same as those who are mindlessly or blindly following the tariqah. Similarly, God is saying that the light and the darkness, nur and zulmat, andhera, cannot be same. It just cannot be same, right? So we understand that part. Somebody is not muted. Can you please check your mute and mute yourself? Thank you. Give me one moment. Let me make Nahid Sahaba host so she can mute people, please.
Sure.
Thank you. Now we have another verse, 22/46. Remember, we have to now understand Quranic verses and seek this tawili in, because we have studied all the related ginans in the past. So let's read what does this Quranic verse says. So in Arabic, Aflam yasiru fil ardi fatakunna lahum qulubun yaqiluna biha aw azanun yasmi'una biha fa innaha la ta'amal absaru walakin ta'amal qulubul latifis sudur. Have they not traveled in the earth? And ᶜAllāmah Sahib in Book of Healing says, translation is from the Book of Healing, he says, travel in the earth of the personal world, right? So that they should have hearts with which to understand, or ears which to hear. For surely it is not the eyes that are blind, but blind are the hearts which are in the breast. So another beautiful Quranic verse, in the previous verse when Khuda Ta'ala was comparing blind and seeing, in this verse we are able to see who are Khuda calling blind. Allah Ta'ala is calling blind are those who are not physically blind, but blind are the hearts. Meaning there, and remember we had talked about the word kulub. The kulub word in Arabic means intellect as well as heart. So when we do not have knowledge, our intellect is not nourished with the knowledge, meaning we cannot have those batni eyes. So if we don't have the knowledge, it means, it is implied very clearly here, through this Quranic verse, that those people are like blind, meaning they don't have eyes. So realize the power of knowledge and blessings of knowledge, and those who walk on this path of knowledge, seeking knowledge, working hard, it is truly glad tidings for them, Mubarak Badi for them, that they are not in the category of those who Allah is calling blind. So interestingly, in this verse, Allah Ta'ala is asking, have they not traveled in the earth? Now, if any human being, look at human beings, we travel on the earth. When we walk, we are walking on our planet earth. Why would Allah say that? Allāmah Sahib is giving us the ta'wil. Travel in the personal world, not this physical world. So people, when they just take the tanzeel, they don't understand what God is saying. Travel in the earth, people do travel in the earth, right? But actually it is the travel which is within our being, right? Our personal world. So that they should have hearts with which to understand. Only those who travel, meaning only those when they seek knowledge, they realize that there is a whole world within themselves. When they enter into their own world, at that time they will be able to understand, hear, and see. Meaning their hawase khamsa, their senses will open up. Meaning what? Am I not able to hear? Am I not able to see? But we are not talking about physical senses here. God is not talking about physical senses. Remember, when we are seeking the light for our eyes, ears, heart, it is to seek that nur, seek that ability to see beyond the physical being. How we are able to do that? When we enter into our own personal world. Is there any door to enter? Yes. What are those doors? Number one door is the knowledge. When we seek knowledge, this door will open, this door will open. All the doors will open and we will be able to enter within our being. So I hope that we are understanding that in the previous Quranic verse, 13/16, I hope you're writing down and you will highlight these verses. And you do know that this word means seeing, right? Similarly, absar here, meaning seeing. So when you are looking at this verse is the answer to this verse, because this verse clearly doesn't say who is the blind, who is the seeing, but this is the answer. In this verse, it clearly tells us who are those Allah Ta'ala is calling blind, because it is their heart. Without knowledge, they are like blind. Now look at Maulana Sultan Muhammad Shah's Farman, Allahumma salli ala Muhammad wa ālimah. Maula Ali has said, unless I see God, I will never perform ibadat. One who does not behold God with his own eyes, then his eyes are blind. What a powerful farman of Munjawari, 31st December 1893. What a powerful farman. Maula says that if I don't see my God, I will not do bandagi. Meaning, if we are doing bandagi, we ought to be able to see our Imam. Light of God. We ought to be able to. If we are not seeing, then what are we doing? Are we doing ibadat or not? You know, we can ask that question, because that's what this Farman is saying, that if I don't see my God, I would not do ibadat. So if we don't see God, so should we not do ibadat? We have to really reflect on this Farman, because Imam is saying that if they don't see it, because their eyes are blind. Which eyes Imam is talking about? The Batni eyes. And we just learned how are we going to open those eyes. So I don't think I need to discuss it, but question and answer, I'm sure going through our heads, if we are sitting in bandagi and if we are not still seeing his didar, meaning the eyes are blind. So Imam is clearly teaching us with the example of Maula Ali that why do we not see Imam in our bandagi ibadat? Why do we not have the didar? Because eyes are blind. Alhamdulillah, it's a glad tiding for those who are gathered here to learn, because we are seeking that light, right? Now, so we understand about the eyes. Let's talk about the tongue. وَنُورًا فِي lisani, light for my tongue. So what is the role of the tongue? Again, the basic principles, the basic things, we have talked about it in so many lectures. If you listen to the lectures of Book of Healing, Amal Ki Pakizgi, all these lectures are there. On Ginan, Farmans, it is there for us to understand the importance of the tongue. But let us review so we get reminded and we watch ourselves not repeating this, sinning through our tongue. So Pir says, Sadgur kahere te deepak jagya jaapsu, te mahe surat nirat same, satsu teni jibe rahe, gur kahe hu paas tene sahi jaan re. The true guide says, a person who is awake to remembrance for the sake of that light, and the consciousness and love is focused towards it, then his or her tongue is truthful. And guide says, no, that in truth he is present with such a person. If we are watching our tongue, if the tongue is tied with his name through zikr ibadat, through ilm ginan, then that moment as-Sadiq is actually with Imam, because his attention, his consciousness is focused on Imam. How? Awake in remembrance. Now, when we ever see Jagya, we think of only Nurani time. But in reality, this is awakening of our being, 24 hours. Because if 23 hours, if we are sleeping, meaning living life mindlessly, and waking up only 1 hour to do ibadat, we will be sleeping at that time always. So we have to realize that in order to be able to do ibadat in that hour, we have to work hard for 23 hours to reap the fruit at that time, because our heart, our mind will be focused in his remembrance. Because the whole day we stayed with his remembrance. The tongue was controlled. The tongue was refraining from any backbiting, any unneeded words, because the tongue was busy doing the zikr. In another farman which we were discussing on Tuesday, Imam says that in our deen, we don't lie. Jhuthu bolvo ni mana hai. And here, Pir is teaching us that the tongue, which is with the truth, the tongue is the truthful when the tongue is focused in his remembrance. So in other words, what we are learning, that there will be no lying if the tongue is continuously busy in zikr ibadat. So how easy the talimat are for us to understand. Another Gnanic verse, Sadgur kahe jine dil mahe gur brahma vasi rahya, ane tene kem suje ninda niche, te sansarni વાત શું સાંભળે, તેઓનો ડોલવે પોતાનું મન રે, તેઓના ડોલવે પોતાનું મન રે. The true guide says, in whoever's heart the light of prophethood has resided, how can such a person feel like backbiting and playing, meaning useless things? He or she will hear all the talk of the world, but her mind will not be shaken. We live in this physical world. Imam says that peace Din was like you. He had eyes and ears just like you, meaning when we are in this world, we going around, we hear people backbiting, but we protect our ears because we are doing the zikr and our ears are listening to that zikr. We do not want to let anything, any impure things enter into our ears. Meaning we are seeking the light, we are seeking the nur, right? If we are doing that, if our tongue is busy like that, then the heart is pure, eyes are not blind, everything, all the senses are interconnected, right? So we understand that we have to purify our hearing here. Another Gyanan here, the true guide says the mouth of Sadgur Kahre, Jis Mukte Hari Naam Jape, Tis Mukh Varse Noor, Tis Mukti Jhuthu Bole, To Satpanthai Dur. Very beautiful. We already discussed that. That those who are going to lie are not going to keep their tongue with the name of the Imam, definitely they will not receive the light. In opposed to that, those who stay in remembrance, whenever they speak, nur pours out of them, because their tongue speaks only beautiful name of Imam. So we understand so beautifully that what does it mean to control our tongue and have the light for our tongue. Now I have a beautiful dua of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam from the Quran, chapter 20, verse 25 to 28. This is the dua of Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, and he says, Kala Rabbi Sharri li Sadri wa Yasirli Amri Wahlul Uqdatum min Lisani Yafkahu Qawli. He says, O my Lord, open for me my chest and ease my task for me, and loosen the knot from my tongue, that they understand my speech. So the Zahiri story, the exoteric story is that Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, whenever he would speak, he would give lectures and talimat and teachings, he used to stutter. And sometimes it would be difficult for people listening to understand what he was saying. This is the Zahiri story to test people that Prophet spoke in such a way which was not clear. So he was praying to God that there is a knot in my tongue. If you remove that knot, so I can speak clearly so people can understand what I'm saying. Now, there are layers of tawilat. Number one, important understanding that when we see, people, those who were listening to Hazrat Musa alayhi salam, and let's say he had stutter, right? And when he was talking, did people see him beyond the stutter? Allah Ta'ala tests people. Allah Ta'ala tests people that are they able to see the light beyond the obvious deficiency they see? What happens to the people? They will look at that one thing which is not fit or right, and they will miss out the light behind it. They will miss out the light behind it. So it is very important lesson. When we are seeking light, we have to be mindful of our own thinking and judgment, how we are seeking light. Right? The other important tawili meaning in this verse is that Hazrat Musa alayhi salam was asking for actually asas imam. Hazrat Musa alayhi salam was the natik, and he was praying to Lord to send him his asas, his wazir. The word wazir means the one who carries the burden, right? The responsibility. And asas imam is the one who carries the burden. How do we understand this part? Actually, it will be easier if we talk about Prophet Muhammad. When Prophet Muhammad was told by Jibreel that God has made you his prophet. So first, what he does, he talks to his family members and he has a dawat in his home. Dawat-e-ushira, right? He calls all the family members and he gives them dawat. That I am the prophet of Allah, and in this mission, who is going to help me? And all the male members of his family were present there. Strong warriors, they all were there. And they were laughing at him. Why? Because they were looking at his, body. You have become now exalted, you are prophet of God. They were making fun of him. Only Mullah Ali, he is only 8 years old. He stands up and he says, I will support you in your mission. And Prophet Muhammad says, indeed, you are my brother, my wasi, my wazir. Meaning, Mullah Ali was the asas imam. Every natik has asas imam because natik brings the shariat and asas imam gives the ta'wil. So in this dua, the ta'wili meaning of this dua is when he was saying, and loosen the knot from my tongue so they understand my speech. It was to help people, those who were seeking the ta'wil. Because the task of the prophet is to give tanzeel. But ta'wil is the work of asas imam. So in this dua, actually the dua was for Hazrat Harun alayhi salam. who eventually Hazrat Musa alayhi salam finds him, and then of course he is the Asas Imam who helps him in his mission. So beautiful learning for us about the tongue. This is the dua about the tongue by our Natik. So very important learning for us that we seek Tawili ilm. When we seek Tawili knowledge, it unties the knots from our tongue as well. Tawili ilm is actually due to the mercy of Imam. Today, if we are learning the Tawili ilm from ᶜAllāmah Sahib's books, it is because ᶜAllāmah Sahib went through Qiyamah and he became one with Imam. And that is why he's able to write all what is hidden in the Quranic Tanzil in the Tawili sense, right? All it is Tanzil in the Quran, and we are seekers of Batin, we are seekers of Tawil. So all the Tawil we find in the books of ᶜAllāmah Sahib, right? And we are also seeking that Tawili learning. So this is actually a beautiful dua for us too, that we can learn this dua. We can ask Naveen Sahib to teach us this dua as well, right? So we can say this dua. There are so many beautiful Quranic verses which we can recite, and there's so much beauty in it and sawab. And when we know the Tawili meaning, beauty, it's like cherry on the top. When we say this dua with complete understanding of its Tawil, it becomes the reason for our Giriyazari, right? That Ya Mawla, loosen that knot from my tongue too, so I can understand the Tawil first, and then be able to speak. Because in today's time, Maula Bapa has made us all dais. But that dai title is potential. Those who will work hard will actualize the title. Knowledge is must. So it is beautiful understanding of this Tawili learning about the tongue. All right, let's see. So this was briefly about the tongue. Now let's talk about Vanuran fi Shari, light for my hair. How can we have a light in our hair? Isn't that amazing question? But Prophet Muhammad used to ask for the nur for his hair as well. So let's look into this Ginanic verse. Jire vira rome, rome maru shah vase, ane antar nahi ek til. Aau janine, evu janine bhaktai kijiye, shah par tak baitha dil. Dear brothers, within every hair of my body, my Lord resides, and he is not remote even by a distance of 1 grain of simsim. By regarding him thus, perform your devotions. The Lord is present and seated in the heart. Rome, Rome, Marushavase. Our Pir is teaching us. Our Pir has gone through Qiyamah, and that's why he's saying that I see my Lord in every hair follicle. Rome, Rome, Marushavase. So we do also ask for the light for our hair as well, right? So we understand. Now we will continue to talk about it because hair and skin are connected. So we understand through the Ginanic words, but we will talk and understand it more when we talk about this. Vanuran fi bashari. Now bashari is light for my skin. Bashari, right? So again, if we look at our being, physical being, do you know that the skin is the largest organ? Like we have heart, we have kidneys, liver, our eyes, ears, but the largest organ of our body is the skin. And we are seeking the light for our skin. What does that mean? So let's see. We have another Quranic verse here, 39/23. I'm going to skip that. Time is limited and I would like to finish, inshallah, what I have planned today. In 39, Surah Zumar, verse 23, Allah says, Allah has revealed the best word. And ᶜAllāmah Sahib gives us the ta'wil in Book of Healing, page 56. Best word is actually the Quran in the form of a book equivocal and repeated, by which do creep the skins, āllāmah Sahib says bodies, of those who fear their Lord. Then their skins and hearts do soften to Allah's remembrance. Now, this is actually very powerful Quranic words, and we really have to understand. We all understand that the Quran was revealed, and this is the words of Quran. It's a Kalmai Bari Ta'ala, words of Lord, are, mighty, Almighty Allah, giving it to Prophet Muhammad, best word. It is in the form of a book, which we see physically, there is a book. When the words of the books are recited, right, and they are repeated, when we listen to the Quranic recitation with its understanding of Ta'wil, when we know the Ta'wil and when we listen to the beautiful recitation, a beautiful voice, Israfili voice, something happens in our being. And Khuda Ta'ala says in Quran, creep the skin of those who fear their Lord. You feel vibrations in your body. You feel different kind of sensation in your body. But these creeping of the bodies or the skin only happens to those who fear their Lord. The word fear, we all know, is from taqwa. Those who fear the Lord, not the people, the Lord. Those who fear their Lord, when they listen to these beautiful verses, their bodies shake, their skins creep. And what happens due to that? When they feel that way, their skins and hearts do soften to Allah's remembrance. Literally, their heart and the skin becomes humble and soft. Why? How? What does that mean? Because the light is received in the skin. Through skin, every pore of the skin. Rome rome maro shahvase. According to this Quranic verse, what we are learning and understanding through the Tawili meaning attached to this Quranic verse in the book of healing, āllāmah Sahib is explaining in that chapter which talks about skin. In fact, it is mentioned in book of healing as well as in the book Recognition of Iman, that the skins creep, the bodies shake. āllāmah Sahib tells us in book of healing that each human being, like we have numerous, unlimited numbers of cells in our body. The count is like more than 50 billion numbers of cells. Each hair follicle we see in our being has a soul in it, right? So we have 50 billions, more than that, cells in our being. They're alive, but they die also. Do you know the skin actually takes 40 days to actually shed off and new skin comes up? We don't see that, but it happens gradually. Medically, we know that it happens. That the new cells come in the epithelial cells. They are called epithelial cells. The new cells come in the skin. So there's a renewing of the skin every 40 days. Again, we are not going into the science of it. The key, the essence here is that there are so many cells in our being which are alive and they die also, right? And each cell actually is connected to a soul. If we are alive, the soul is in there, but we do not have just one soul. The number of cells we have, the equal numbers of souls we have in our being. This is a very important part of our learning, that we have unlimited numbers of souls in our being. They're alive, they die, and they are revived also, right? Now, in these cells, when their soul is present, and when we are listening to these beautiful verses, understanding Ta'wil, and the moment who is in fear, meaning the moment is observant of taqwa, he's protecting his amal, he's staying in zikr ibadat. When they listen to these kind of Ta'wili knowledge, they can't control, but they have, strange experiences in their being. The light enters through their skin pores and shakes them from inside. They feel strange within themselves. Sometimes they experience physical shakes as well. Book of Healing talks about that as well. And sometimes they experience goosebumps from nowhere. All these experiences are indicating that the souls are awakening. Rome Marushahavase. When the Mu'min as-Sadiq is leaving that blindness, all the souls wake up in the body. Each particle of the body wakes up. It trembles due to the name of the God, right? Due to the divine remembrance. And all these cells, through these souls, receive light, right? And depending on Mu'min as-Sadiq, the intensity is experienced. Similarly, the way when we look at our being, there are different types of cells, right? Our skins have cells, our hair has cells, everything, our organs, our eyes, everything has cells. Depending on the size of the cells, in its form, in its magnitude, their participation is in there when the light is received. When a Mu'min as-Sadiq remains in Zikr Ibadat, desiring the light, when they listen to these Quranic verses with understanding, their cells, which are empowered by these souls, they're functioning because of these souls, they receive the light. In other words, what we are saying that there is not a single part in our being. Think of our bones, everything is full of cells, meaning souls, right? So when a Mu'min listens, reads, eyes, ears, tongue, whatever sense is involved, it is actually receiving the light, right? So in the light of the material and spiritual science today, when we are discussing this, that everything has a soul, our whole being has a soul. Now when we get sick, it is same body, same cells, right? And these cells are sick now because there's infection or anything. Souls are there too. Meaning the sickness when we get, the disease itself also has a soul. It is a soul which we have received because of the being sick. Now, I'm trying to touch on a concept, but first I would like to help us understand the way we are learning that every cell has a soul, and that is why we are alive. And being alive, if somebody gets a sore throat, right? Meaning this throat is sick, meaning these cells here became sick. That sickness which came in also has a soul. Every disease which comes in our being is a living thing. It has a soul. When we receive this knowledge, any physical disease or spiritual disease will not be able to stand in front of this talimat, this tawili, ruhani talimat. It will shake. It will shake and it will want to run away from the being. The soul of the disease will want to go out of the Mu'min's body. Try and understand that when we talk about, we have talked about, right, that anxiety and depression is so common in Jama'at. And whenever in these classes we talk about, we say, oh, you recite La hawla wa la quwwata. But how it's going to treat my anxiety or depression? Realize and understand that zikr has a soul. And your sickness, which is in the being, has also a soul. But that is the soul of the disease. And it will not withheld. It will not stand in front of the zikr, which is done with piety, purification of the deeds, zikr ibadat. The more you walk on the path, the way this Quranic verse says that this book, equivocal and repeated, by which do creep the skins, bodies of those who fear their Lord. So if we are those who are following the taqwa, anything which is within us, which is not needed there, the soul of the disease, it won't stand there, it will come out. So meaning, in other words, what we are saying, that the voice of Quran or zikr ibadat, the disease, any physical or spiritual disease cannot escape the voice, the grip of the voice of zikr or ibadat or recitation of the Quran. I'm going to repeat that either it is a physical sickness or a spiritual sickness, it cannot escape the grip of the voice of the Quran recitation or zikr or ibadat. So remember what we were talking about? Tongue, recitation, our skin, our being. Everything is interconnected. The more senses, the more we are into it, with understanding, with reading, listening, reciting, everything is connected. Whole skin, hair, everything is connected. And it will respond to it because we are walking on the path of healing our being. So this is beautiful hadith which will help you understand what I'm talking about. So look at this hadith. Prophet says, "O fever." He's talking to the fever. Let's say this person who has a sore throat now has a fever. And Prophet was told this person has fever. So Prophet is talking to fever. "O fever, if you believe in God, then do not eat the flesh. Do not suck the blood and do not blaze towards the mouth. Rather, you should go to the one who associates someone else as God, with God, the one." Can you imagine the power of this hadith? Prophet is actually sitting with someone who was sick because Prophet was called because he's, Pagambar. So somebody said, "Oh, this person has really high fever. Can you come?" So Prophet is praying and talking to fever. That, "Oh, fever," now we know fever has a soul, right? So he's talking to the fever and saying, "Oh, fever, if you believe in God, do not eat flesh," because this person is sick, right? Or suck the blood, or do not be like, breathing hot air coming out of the mouth. When the person is having fever, if you go near, it all feels warm to us, right? So do not blaze towards the mouth. Rather, you should go to the one who is unbeliever, who associates someone else with God. Meaning, stay away from the moment. Do not come near the moment. Can you imagine that? Power of this knowledge? So ᶜAllāmah Sahib is saying that every disease has a living soul. It is obvious. We are learning, right? Every disease has a living soul. It is a fact that human body has innumerable number of cells. Each cell is connected to the soul. No part of our being is without a soul, right? And if there is a disease soul which comes inside of us, like let's say bacteria, right? According to this hadith, that bacteria was called out of the body by the voice of the Prophet, making it fear through the name of the God. So in other words, what we are learning? We are learning that if someone is sick and they stay in zikr ibadah, they are talking to that diseased soul. We can talk to that sickness and tell that sickness, leave, because this is not your house. This is the house of the Imam. You need to leave. And the more we are in taqwa, the more we do zikr ibadat, it will have to leave because the light lives here. So ᶜAllāmah Sahib teaches that the disease in the body of the moment cannot remain if there is zikr ibadat. Now I'm sure you will have question and we will talk about your question. Let me see what I have next. This is another verse which says, chapter 41, verse 21, Qalu antaknallahu allazi antaka kulla shay'in. The organs, ᶜAllāmah Sahib again, ascent of soul, has given us the ta'wil, they shall say, meaning our being, our body, our organs, will say, Allah who makes everything speak, make us speak. Our heart, our kidneys, our gallbladder, liver will speak. And this speaking will be in the day of judgment, actually. It will testify, actually, against us. If we have not given the light, if we have not become the reason of receiving light to our being. That is the purpose, right? The reason we have come to this world, it is only for one purpose: to seek his recognition. And with his recognition is the light as well, because he is light. To seek him, to recognize him, to seek his light. So our being, our body parts, our organs will speak. What does that mean? They'll bear witness of our deeds. What have we done? Now, we understand the importance of knowledge. We understand importance of the recognition. But here what we are saying, that due to the light of recognition, everything which has a soul will get a tongue, will speak. We do know even stones has a mineral soul in it, right? In the story of Hazrat Dawood alayhi salam, when he was going to face Goliath, right? And he's walking on the path and these stones are speaking to him, pick me, pick me. Nobody could hear, but Hazrat Dawood alayhi salam can, because he was himself elevated. So he could see the soul in the stone and stones were calling him. And he takes one stone and from his string, when he hits Goliath, one hit of the stone, this powerful enemy is dead. So that powerful enemy for us is that shaitan, man to mahabalwant kahiye, right? We have also been given this power, right? How? We are learning that everything has this soul. Every disease, every negative thought, everything which we hear, backbiting, has a soul, meaning the backbiting, that soul enter into our being. When we understand that, we can choose to have positive souls entering our being and remove all the negative souls from our being, because we do not give any entry to the negative or diseased soul. Otherwise, our beings, our organs will give testimony against us when they will receive the light. And they will say that what we were doing with our being. Khuda Ta'ala sends his angels. When we do zikr ibadat, every zikr has his angel. So when we are doing this, even dua-e-Nur has its own angel. The more we recite, the more we empower this angel. And of course, with taqwa, purifying our deeds as well. When we do that, meaning we are not only having this light coming in, this angelic power also coming inside us. Now it is not us as one, because we have activated this dua-e-Nur in our being. So the angel of dua-e-Nur is with us, helping us remove all what is diseased, bad and wrong within our being. All those doors which are locked for us to enter into our personal world, to be able to see the light, it will be made possible because whole being of ours will be alive. Rome, Rome, Marusha. And then it will be so easy for us to see what we require to see. So in other words, what we are saying when we say, وَنُورًا فِي اللَّحْمِ, light for my flesh, وَنُورًا فِي دَمِ, light for my blood, وَنُورًا فِي إِزَامِ, light for my bones, وَنُورًا فِي أَسَبِ, light for my nerves. Everything has a soul. And with this dua, we will activate this angel, and the souls in our being will be alive and responding to our zikr ibadat Giriya Uzari, helping us elevate and fly high. Let me see. So what we did today, we covered quite a lot. We talked about eyes, tongue, hair, skin, flesh, blood, bones, and nerves. So because they're all interrelated, right? Everything is interrelated. We talked about the organs speaking, skin, hair, and tongue and eye. Alhamdulillah, we'll end here if friends have any questions or comments.
Subhanallah, Subhanallah. It is amazing to hear. We always think that Noor is, something which we will see it in our Nurani Ibadat time. And, those are the beginning learning for us. And then we come here and we learn this beautiful prayer, which was recited by our prophet, and now we're learning it. It amazes that even hair has, which we require light. A question comes in mind that, when we think about light, we compare it with darkness. So wherever there is darkness, we're asking or requesting Mawla to bless us with the light. How do we understand that, our hair and our, all of these flesh and bones has darkness and it needs to be lit?
SubhanAllah, what a beautiful question. So the answer is very simple, actually. The answer is that when a child is born and child follows blind faith or Shariati religion, right? If this person grows to be an adult and does not seek Tawili, Batni knowledge, when they do not seek Tawili ilm, actually light at that level never entered. Meaning, if there is no light, there is darkness. Now, you can definitely say that, oh, this child, this person is now serves in Jama'at Khanah, goes to Jama'at Khanah morning and evening, and he's such a good person. How can you say that, if they don't have knowledge, then there is darkness? There are levels of darkness and there are levels of knowledge. So depending on how they are, do remember this, farman of Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah, that only with knowledge, soul will elevate. Only with knowledge, soul will elevate. So if the soul is not elevating, so where is the soul? It is at its place on the, down below, lower, not even ranks. The rank starts when the person becomes student. So not even in counting of the ranks, meaning it is equivalent to darkness. Light starts when somebody starts seeking knowledge, actually. So if there is no light, there is darkness.
Subhanallah, Subhanallah. There's another question in the chat that is there any zikr to get rid of physical illnesses?
Okay, so yes, there are not one but several zikr actually. And I'm hoping, I'm requesting Naveen Saba, after she teaches friends Dua Noor, we will continue to request her to teach different Quranic verses which are like dua, and we can say it as a zikr, as a tasbih, to, pray if we are physically ill or whatnot. So we will continue to learn those dua from Naveen Saba. The question I would like to ask, and I think I'm going to ask from your behalf because I was expecting that question. Let's say somebody is in this knowledge journey, somebody is walking on the path of piety, and even then, despite of that, they become sick. Or let's say Prophet Muhammad, did he ever get sick? Yeah, he did get sick. So the question would be, the way we discussed it today, that how can this soul of sickness or disease soul entered into the being of the Prophet Muhammad? He was Noor. How can Noor get sick? Noor can never get sick. Whenever we see sickness, for example, Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah, we all know that the doctors had said that this child, when he was so sick, he had said that he's not going to survive. He's not going to live. And we saw longest imamat of Imam Sultan Muhammad Shah. He was light, he was Noor, but his physical body also got sick. So what does that mean? First at that level, and then we'll come to our level. At that level, it is actually for us to learn that physical body does get sick, and we have to seek treatment and we have to take care of ourselves, right? We have to take care of ourselves. But when Imam gets sick, we never say he's sick because he can never get sick. The reason he gets sick is for us to learn. Everything he does for us. So Imam is Noor, and Noor does not get sick. It is for us to pray. So he does not have to take upon himself to teach us so many things. If we are self-motivated, good learners, then Imam, may not have to do what he does to teach us. ᶜAllāmah. Second level is that if somebody is a Momin, they are seeking knowledge, but they get sick, remember the lesson of tests. There are few lectures Nachis have done on the test. Momin as-Sadiq is tested. It is a law given in Quran, in Surah Baqarah. It is being said that God will test us with our health as well, our life as well, our money, our belongings, our properties. He will test us. So the test will come, tests do come on Mu'mineen to become the reason for elevation. Tests do come on the Mu'mineens in the form of sickness or whatever to elevate their ranks. So understand that for Mu'min, when Mu'min gets sick, it is a reason for joy. Yes, physically there is a pain, going to the doctor, sickness, but in their heart, they are in peace and calm and happiness because they know what is happening. Physically, people will say, ah, poor her. Oh, probably she got cancer and this and that and treatment. But if you talk to her, there is only peace, calmness, and joy. Do you not have cancer? Other people get cancer and they complain so much. And why are you so peaceful? It became the reason for elevation. Why would they complain? So understand this at different level. Nevertheless, if we are experiencing any sickness, what we are saying, the most important point, when we are doing zikr ibadat, when we follow the path of piety, taqwa, the soul of the sickness is in us, but it doesn't affect us. It affects our body. It affects our body. Our body may get weak, we may get pain, but the soul remains powerful. And it continues to earn from that sickness elevation of the ranks. So very, very important lesson which we have to really understand. Ji.
Ameen. Subhanallah. Subhanallah. Narmeen Sawa's beautiful comment is like, beautiful presentation. Shukr Mola. Prayers for all the windows and doors of light to guide us, guidance in every aspect.
Ameen.
Another question is, the way we have souls on our skin, does our organs also have souls?
Yes, that's what we just read in Quranic verse. Organs also have soul. Everything has a soul. Can you imagine Prophet, talking to fever? Fever doesn't stay in us. When it comes in us, it has a soul. Our organs, the way Quran, we read the Tawili meaning of that Quranic verse. What verse was that? Anybody noted? If friend is asking, we have to give them the verse. Probably they joined later. Organs, 41/21. Please go ahead, go into your Quran, 41/21. The Tawil of they shall say that Allah, who makes everything speak, they shall say, meaning our organs will speak on our behalf. So yes, organs have souls and they will speak. Our skin will speak. Everything will speak.
Ameen. Subhanallah. Subhanallah. Friends, chat is open. If any friend would like to come forward and share their reflection or any comments or any questions, you can come forward, unmute and come forward.
Niamat Saiba, can you clarify this when you said that our eyes or our senses are going to witness on the day of judgment? So, are you? Did I get it that if there is light in them, then the witness will be on a positive note?
Yes. So if it is a moment, the eyes will speak that this moment was looking at books, reading books, Farman books, Tawili books, Quran book, and they were not looking at the things which they were, which was not supposed to be seen. The eyes will speak. Similarly, those who are not on the path and they just seek worldly pleasures and worldly joys and all the time seeking this, watching TV or whatever social things, right? They're constantly busy in that because they don't have time. They're busy. They cannot attend knowledge classes or they cannot read because they are busy on social media. The eyes will speak that this is what he did. The ears will talk. Yes, so all these organs will speak. They will testify either against us or on our behalf, depending on the deeds. Whenever there is a negative in the Quran, opposite is also there, right? If there is a positive, then negative is also there. So the way Quran it gives us the that our organs will testify, meaning they will testify for Mu'minin in a good way, that this Mu'min did the right thing. This Mu'min took care of the souls which are in the eyes or ears, always did good things.
And another thing, like if I forgot that thing that you were telling us. Oh my God. I don't remember just now. Oh, okay. When you said that the diseases, so I can be my own healer through ilm and zikr ibadat.
Yes, 100%. You got it.
Wow, shukran Mola.
Shukran, alhamdulillah. Shukran, Allah.
Okay.
Any other? Yes.
So this friend, I'm so sorry, I'm reading the question again. The zikr, one of the zikr is وَإِذَا مَرِضْتُ فَهُوَ يَشْفِينِ. This is a prayer of Hazrat Ibrahim alayhi salam, and he used to say, whenever I'm sick, he heals me. وَإِذَا مَرِضْتُ فَهُوَ يَشْفِينِ. So if you contact Naveen Sahaba, she will share the recordings with you and you will know. And if you have any difficulty, any need, assistance you need, we can help you with that. And there's another beautiful zikr. If somebody is sick and in pain, La taqnatu min rahmatillah, that there is no despair in his mercy. We have to remind ourselves that it is all his mercy. The pain or sorrow, trials and tribulation, it is all his mercy. It is us who is not able to see beyond the pain and the, difficulties. La taqnatu min rahmatillah. Both the zikr audio, Naveen Sahaba can give it to you.
Alhamdulillah. Thank you so much, Niamat Sabah. Wonderful session. It really, enlightens and gives joy to the heart that we, seek this nur through all our 16 surroundings. Ameen. Thank you so much for friends for joining. Inshallah, on Saturday, we have session again for Kalam-e-Imam Mubin every Saturday, 6 a.m. Central Time. So we'll see you all there. Thank you, Niamat Saiba. Thank you, friends. Ya Ali Madad, Ya Ali Madad.
Ya Ali Madad, Ya Ali Madad.
Ya Ali Madad.
Ya Ali Madad.
Ya Ali Madad.
Ya Ali Madad,
Ya
Niamat Saiba.
Ali
Thank you.
Madad.
Ya Ali Madad.
Thank you, Madad.
Ya Ali Madad.
Ya Ali Madad.
Ya Ali Madad, Baba.
Ya Ali
Thank you so
Madad.
much.
Ya Ali Madad.
Shukran, Mala.
Ya Ali Madad, Ya Ali Madad.
Ya Ali Madad.
Ya Ali Madad, Ya Ali Madad.